Not everyone is permitted to enter into your temple or else they will make a mess of it. It's high time we treated our bodies as we would treat a church or a temple or a mosque. How you interact with nature and the world at large is likely how you will act in bed. The most important relationship you have is the one you have with yourself. It is a thread that weaves our souls together. That's why you need to be careful who you sleep with, because you're weaving your souls. You're weaving your souls together every moment you sleep with one person. As a matter of fact, if I consider my body as a temple, then sex with my husband is a form of worship. Welcome to my show. Now, can we all stop treating sex as a means to secure the attention, the affection, or the relationship that we want? But let's see it as a thread that weaves our humanity and divinity together. Because it actually took me a long time to realize that sex isn't a milestone on the way to some mundane goal. And when I mean mundane, I'm not talking about boring, but I'm talking about it in terms of being earthly and material. All right? It is a portal into a loving awareness. It is a thread that weaves our souls together. That's why you need to be careful who you sleep with, because you're weaving your souls. You're weaving your souls together every moment you sleep with one person on another. All right? So like meditation, let's make sex a part of our spiritual practice. And then you would see it's not every Tom, Dick, and Harry that you sleep with. And just maybe you would find out that you would create a much more deeper intimacy with your lover. You would come back to your body and get closer to the divine. To be truthful, once you start to look at sex through a new lens, not only will you feel better about the act emotionally, but it will be much more physically satisfying for both you and your partner. Of course, it shouldn't be a surprise that our mind, our body, our souls, our spirits are interwoven and intricately so. So when we account for all three, we tend to deepen and enhance our experiences with our soulmates. And that's when sex becomes much more meaningful. So the ordinary becomes extraordinary. It is important when I say that you learn to make sex your spiritual practice. And although sex with a partner is terrific, but we don't necessarily need a partner to enjoy the benefits of sex as a spiritual practice. He thought I was possessed. So number one, practice eroticism. In fact, even if you do have a partner, make sure that you take some time to have soul interludes to remind you that the most important relationship you have is the one you have with yourself. Okay? So now here are 5 ways that you could change your mindset around sex and make it part of your spiritual practice. Are you ready? Or is this getting so complex and deep for you? Now, do you know that you are an erotic being? And it's not because of how you interact with your mate in bed. You are erotic because of your relationship with the material world. I would explain. Now, we often think of foreplay as the time leading up to intercourse, right? Now, consider your life like foreplay. Walk your bare foot on the sand and feel the sensation of your feet pressing into the soft earth. You can linger in the bathtub, just to enjoy a warm soak as you smell the scent of lavender, essential oils basically, in the room. And then savor the taste of dark chocolate before you take a sip. See, what I'm trying to say here is that every of our experiences have the potential to be erotic. So how you interact with nature and the world at large is likely how you will act in bed. Eroticism is the practice of slowing down and focusing our awareness and deepening our appreciation. And number 2 way for you to make sex a spiritual practice is caring for your temple. Because caring for your temple changes your sexual narrative, to be honest. I'm sure you've likely heard, the phrase, your body is your temple, in regards to eating well or getting enough exercise. Though according to ancient wisdom traditions like Tantra or even the Holy Book, the Bible, we really are divine and our bodies are holy. It's both your sanctuary and a vehicle while you're here on earth. as a human form. So with that in mind, I need you to consider how you care for your body. Are you careful with what you put into it in terms of food, in terms of substances, and even joy-seeking juicy parts? Do you engage in activities that strengthen you? Do you have sex with partners who have your best interest in mind? Look, it's high time we treated our bodies as we would treat a church or a temple or a mosque or other place of worship. All right? Not everyone is permitted to enter into your temple, or else they will make a mess of it. Number 3, create a ritual for you to be able to make sex a spiritual practice. And what do I mean by ritual? A ritual is an activity or, an action that we perform to connect with the divine. So if your body is a temple, then you must consider sex with your partner as a ritual. It is an act of worship. So make it an offering to the divine. And so you can add elements such as candles, music, and incense, because sexual energy is the merging of our human form with pure consciousness or the divine. Now, I'll tell you what. Sex as a ritual has long been performed to, release fertile energy to the earth, to encourage crops to grow. So ask yourself, what kind of energy do you want to release during sex? Is it just plain or divine? Do you get? All right, moving on. Number 4, another way to make, sex a spiritual practice is by engaging in role play. So imagine you and your partner are deities coming together to worship each other's bodies. You can interpret a script with, symbolic rituals where you both act like a god and goddess in a sacred marriage. And I think you would feel wonderful to be devoted to providing your partner with pleasure. With him in your mind's eyes, you're looking at him like a Greek god. So through your coupling, if at all you like this idea, and you both are very adventurous, I would need you to notice the gleams of awakening that this will bring to both of you. You would observe how present, how authentic, how vulnerable, how spontaneous, and how connected you both are together, even in this role playing. Trust me. And number 5, lastly, meditation. Meditate on your pleasure. I want you to consider sex as meditation and awareness of pleasure meditation. So rather than just focusing on achieving orgasm, you can at least try to focus on giving and receiving pleasure with your presence, and then experiment with touch. Communicate with your partner about what turns you on. Look into each other's eyes. And while you're experiencing pleasure in a particular spot in the body, see if you can grow it throughout your body, all the way to the crown of your head, by internalizing every sensation that you get from the touch. All right? And this is what sex does. It allows us to create, a connection with a mate such that it builds trust and intimacy, and invariably bringing us together to divinity. It helps raise our energy. It elevates our mood and gives us more positive outlook on life, such that when we finally get out of bed, we feel inspired and we feel invigorated, like you just came out of church. As a matter of fact, if I consider my body as a temple, then sex with my husband is a form of worship, because it brings me closer to the divine, to my beloved. And it gives me a glimpse of my wild, vulnerable, and aesthetic nature. Catch you when I catch you.